Hey everybody, this is Buzz. How are you doing there? We are going to talk today about life's big questions. Where do we come from? Does life have any meaning? Things like that. These are the questions that people have been wrestling with for eons and eons of time. And so I was curious how they would look through the eyes of a theist and an atheist and kind of comparing and contrasting the points of view on these big questions. So let's just pop right into it, shall we? Okay, so, where do we come from? Okay, so the universe, where did it come from? Well, theists, of course, say that we're here, it couldn't have happened naturally, so it had to have happened supernaturally. So therefore, there must be God. And of course, the atheist will say, well, have you ever seen God? No, haven't ever seen God physically. Aha! So, the atheist, they're going to go ahead and say, well, since we're here and we don't believe in God, it had to have happened naturally. And so we'd say, well, do you have any mechanism where it could possibly have happened? Oh, well, no. Maybe virtual particles. And so we would say, have you ever seen virtual particles? No, never seen virtual particles. In fact, no one's ever seen a virtual particle. That's why they're called virtual. They're actually not real. They're theoretical. So it looks like the atheist and the theist were kind of on even ground on this, on where do we come from. So I don't think anyone would take the high ground on this question. So then we move on. Let's say what's our purpose? Well, the theist is going to say our purpose is that God gave us a purpose. We have a purpose. We're created in the image of God. We have a soul, and we, therefore, are part of God's plan and His purposes. The atheist is going to say, well, we don't have a soul. We're just an animal. So therefore, we don't really have a purpose other than whatever it is that we want to do individually and collectively. That's our purpose. But there's no ultimate purpose. Just whatever we want to do. But ultimately, there's no purpose. Life is meaningless and futile as far as an atheist goes. As far as a theist goes, life has meaning and purpose. So I'm wondering, what do you think? I know a lot of atheists like to watch this. Do you really believe in your heart that you have no meaning, that no purpose other than whatever you are doing? Or do you feel like, do you really believe life is meaningless and futile? Is that how you really go about your life every day? Oh, I don't go about my life every day thinking about that. Well, you should. I receive, and theists receive peace, knowing that we are part of God's purpose. So I would like to see you all meditate on you being just an accident, randomless, purposeless. Life is meaningless. Life is futile. There is no ultimate meaning. There is no ultimate purpose. I would like for you to meditate on that every single day. I would like to see what the fruit of that would bear out. Because theists, when we have our quiet times, that's we meditate on the fact that, we are part of God's plan and part of God's purpose. Life is not futile, it has meaning. So, and it bears good fruit. Bears peace, bears good fruit. I'd like to know what the fruit you guys would bear. So, what's another big question? Another big question would be the existence of evil. Is there evil? Well, theist is going to say, yeah, there's evil. I mean, we see evil all over the place. And to say that there's an evil, you would have to have kind of a good to compare it against. And so we compare it against God. But the atheist doesn't really have that luxury because there is no ultimate good. There is no objective essence of goodness. So evil really doesn't exist, and it would be relative. What's evil to you may not be evil to me. But, we all go through life thinking that there are evil things. For instance, killing an innocent. You just walk up and kill an innocent. I think we can all agree that that's evil. But the theist comes up with that because, our hearts tell us that. Just like your heart tells you that killing an innocent would be wrong. But, we go a step farther and say, yeah, it's a sin against God. He says, don't do it. And the atheist doesn't have that luxury. They basically just say, it's wrong, don't do it. It's illegal. And of course, if everyone goes around killing themselves, killing each other, where would society go? So, because it's beneficial for society, that's why it's wrong. However, doesn't that feel a little shallow to just say because it's wrong, because if we all did it, it would create a pretty crazy and bad society? It's true. They would create havoc in a society if everyone going around just doing whatever they wanted and murdering innocent people. But is it really wrong to murder an innocent person? You gotta wrestle with that, man. And daggone well it's wrong. And it's wrong because it's wrong. It's wrong not just for us, it's wrong for any culture. That's why we could say to Hitler, hey, you wrong, man. You can't kill millions of Jews. Can't do it. It's wrong. It's against God's laws. But was he really wrong? Well, how could an atheist say he's really wrong? So, as you see, the idea of evil, really, atheists have a very hard time with that. We all agree there's evil, but the theists are the only ones that can rationally say that there's evil. And, I guess we could just stop there, right? Otherwise, I'm just rambling. What's another big question? Is there any purpose in suffering? What happens when we suffer? To an atheist, suffering has no meaning. You're just suffering. It hurts. You're suffering. Some good might come out of it. Might make you a stronger person. Might teach you a lesson. You suffered when you touched the stovetop, and so you won't do that again. And that would be good for survival of the species, that you're not burning yourself, right? But ultimately, if suffering is going on around you, your close friends, really bad things happen to them, illnesses, injury, crime. Really, the atheist can only say life sucks, then you die. I mean, other than the good that could come out of it as far as you learning something and adapting. But, other than that, that's pretty much it. or theists, we believe suffering is part of God's plan. There is suffering in the world. And, if God were to get rid of all the suffering, he would have to get rid of all the sin. If he got rid of all the sin, he'd have to get rid of every human being because we all sin. So, suffering is a necessary part of life. Could God stop it? Yeah. And he will someday. But for right now, he doesn't stop it because he's letting everyone live. And if he would have to take everyone off the face of the earth to stop suffering. So in this time frame that he has, there is suffering. But as a theist, I know that he is involved in my life, that he is good, and that whatever comes my way is for my best, and that I can take solace in that. But other than that, you're just going to think you have bad luck, and that's pretty much going to be the end of it if you're an atheist. There is no solace in prolonged suffering. But suffering is real, and, we got to deal with it. And I can't, the atheist philosophy of suffering that's not going to give you any sense of peace during suffering, is it? What happens when you die? Is there a difference between you dying and your pet dying? There I go, talking about pets again. But is there a difference between you dying and a regular animal dying? Well, the atheist is going to have to say no. We're all animals. We live, we die. But I don't think an atheist believes that in their heart. I think that even atheists believe in their heart that you're different, you're special. And, of course, theists do believe that. We're created in the image of God. And there is a difference. We have a soul. Animals don't have souls. So while we're all animals, we're animals with souls. Whereas all the other animals who are not human do not have souls. There's a big difference. So for you atheists out there, you feel different. You're different. And so quit living the lie, man. Quit living the lie. So these were some thoughts I had. To life's big questions, atheism comes up real shallow. Real shallow. And theism doesn't. Makes sense when you look through the prism of theism. There's been a lot of studies done, and I was looking through them, and things like depression. Who can recover from depression faster? Well, university studies will show that theists recover much quicker from depression. They have better health. They marry more. Just all the different signs of health are attributed to people who believe in God. And so the evidence is so overwhelming in so many areas here. I hope you theists just rethink. I hope you atheists rethink what's going on here, because you're not able to really live a peaceful life as an atheist. You might think you do. You might try to talk yourself into it, but deep down, you can't. You're just an animal. So I just hope this would be a fruitful conversation we could all have. So y'all have a good one now. God bless you all. And just because you disagree doesn't mean you need to give me a thumbs down. Come on now. See you guys. Bye-bye.